consideration provided by
Love breaks all rules. Beautiful Belle from Estee Lauder. Give her the gift she'll open first. At Macy's, the fragrance destination.
Happening now.
Comal County seeing a spike in coronavirus cases. What one county health official has to say about the surge and planned holiday events. And here at home, we look into which areas of the city are being hit the hardest and what one council member wants to see done. With Wednesday being the country's deadliest day since the pandemic began, new hope is on the horizon, where the Moderna vaccine stands in the FDA approval process.
We actually have a little bit of moisture headed our way. I'll be back to talk about our rainfall potential with that. I'll look at the weekend. More cold fronts coming right up.
Parent alert, Graco is recalling some sleeping products because they can be a danger to infants. We'll explain coming up. The news at 5 starts right now.
The FDA Advisory Committee is giving their endorsement for the Moderna vaccine.
Yeah, this could mean that the U.S. will soon have 2 COVID-19 vaccines on the market. When asked if the benefits outweigh the risks for people 18 years old and older, with 20 people voting yes and only 1 abstaining from the vote. The Moderna vaccine is very similar to Pfizer's vaccine. Both use a new approach involving genetic material known as messenger RNA.
Both have shown to be about 95% effective. It is likely the FDA will accept the recommendation. Then it can move on to an advisory committee at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention before getting approved. By the way, KSAT explains the COVID-19 vaccines is available to stream right now, how they work, their safety, much more is explained. You can watch it on ksat.com/explains. You can also stream it on the KSAT TV app, available on Roku, Fire Stick, and most other streaming devices.
New Braunfels police believe that a mother shot her 2 children before turning the gun on herself. The case being investigated as a murder-suicide. Police were called out to Wilderness Way this morning for a possible gunshot victim. When they arrived on the scene, they found 3 people with gunshot wounds. The mother, 43-year-old Chelsea Dodd, was pronounced dead at the scene. Her son, 10-year-old Trace Dodd, also pronounced dead at the scene. And her daughter, a 16-year-old, was found alive with life-threatening injuries. She was taken to University Hospital.
New at 5, police are looking for a man they say shot another man in the leg. It happened in the 200 block of Nolan, that's located just east of downtown. Officers at the scene say 2 men got into an argument, and that's when one shot the other in the leg. The suspect left the scene. The victim was taken to the hospital to get checked out, but officers say he wasn't very cooperative when it came to providing info. Both men are believed to be homeless.
Coronavirus cases surging in parts of our area, including Comal County, where health officials are reporting an all-time total of 5,576 cases. Now, despite the numbers, some local bars and restaurants are planning holiday parties, but they say that those who come shouldn't worry. Take a look.
We're making sure that we're always in compliance and doing the best that we can to keep everybody safe.
Amid a raging pandemic, Sidecar manager Corey Liker says he and fellow manager Spencer Pearson have a plan to host a New Year's Eve party at their New Braunfels bar and restaurant while keeping guests safe at the same time.
People should feel confident in enjoying their New Year's Eve with Muck and Fuss and Sidecar and knowing that they're coming to a safe, clean environment. And have a really good time.
One tactic that falls in line with CDC guidelines is limiting the number of guests that enter and keeping them socially distanced.
We are just doing a first come, first serve. That way there is no chaoticness of overbooking or cramping space.
Despite the safety efforts, there is still cause for concern as Comal County health officials release the latest positivity rates.
Our antigen testing is 13.08 in Comal County, and the Texas is at 9.28.
Still, county officials say they're not planning on any major shutdowns, instead continuing to ask the public to do its part.
Wear a mask and socially distance and, keep your loved ones safe.
Those are practices that Pearson and Liker say they plan to enforce as we head into 2021.
It's not just the guests that we have to look out for. We look out for our staff as well and make sure that we maintain a healthy work environment.
If you live in Comal County and you do want to get a COVID-19 test, you can call the health department. The number there on your screen, 830-221-1120. Call that number to set up an appointment.
Well, the south and west side of the city appear to be getting hit hardest by the COVID-19 pandemic. Data presented to City Council today showed council districts 3, 4, and 5 have had the highest rates of COVID infection. But both overall and in the month of November alone. Districts 3 and 5 also had the highest fatality rates among people who got COVID. District 3 Councilwoman Rebecca Viagran urged that once the city has more control over where vaccines are delivered, that it should prioritize those most vulnerable communities.
On these communities that have been hard hit with the health disparities for generations, and those who are suffering through the number of cases, but then access to health care.
The number of total cases last month was more evenly distributed among the districts. The city's pandemic incident commander credited part of that with community health workers' efforts in those hard-hit areas to get the word out about protective behaviors and getting tested quickly. Coming up on the news at 6, city leaders also spoke about their plans for the remaining money from the CARES Act, what organizers and businesses they plan to help before the year is over. Again, that story is coming up at 6.
And with that, a crucial FDA advisory meeting is underway right now. Cases, hospitalizations, and deaths continue to rise. Right now, more than 113,000 Americans are hospitalized with the virus. That's according to the COVID Tracking Project. This sets a record for the 11th straight day. Here's ABC's Rena Roy.
Healthcare workers rejoicing coast to coast with thousands already getting the Pfizer vaccine.
When the vaccine arrived yesterday, it just all became so real. From the very first day of this pandemic, protecting our teams was the most frightening part of it.
And still those on the front lines in the thick of it. Wednesday was the country's deadliest day since the pandemic began, with more than 3,600 people dying from the virus, according to Johns Hopkins University.
It's horrible. The tears are back. The tears are back, and it doesn't seem like they're going anywhere.
California reporting more than 53,000 new cases Wednesday alone. ICU beds dwindling across the state as the patient count keeps going up.
The numbers of deaths is accelerating, and unfortunately, we know we're going to be reporting more.
A new research letter in the respected JAMA Medical Journal says COVID-19 is now likely the leading cause of death here in the U.S., beating out heart disease and cancer, which have been the top killers for decades. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
For the fourth time in the past 5 weeks, first-time unemployment claims have increased. Last week, 885,000 claims were filed. That's more than the 800,000 claims that economists expected. Meanwhile, continuing claims, which track the total number of Americans seeking jobless benefits, fell to 5.5 million. The latest figures are adjusted for seasonal factors.
Well, in hopes to help those filing for unemployment claims, Capitol Hill leaders say they are getting closer to a much-needed COVID relief package. A $900 billion package is under discussion and could include an extension of enhanced unemployment benefits, money for small businesses, and another round of direct payments to Americans. But some Republicans say the bill's price tag is too high, and progressive Democrats want larger stimulus checks. However, both parties seem to recognize the urgency.
I'm going to stay right here, until we're finished, even if that means working through the weekend, which is highly likely.
I have a responsibility to get this right. People's lives depend upon it.
Congress has until Friday at midnight to pass a bill to avoid a government shutdown.
Luckily, we had the full sun today. It warmed us up nicely into the afternoon because it was a chilly start to our day. Widespread freeze out there across South Texas. In San Antonio, we started the day at 31 degrees, but then we rose a good 30 degrees up to 61. So another big increase in temperature from the morning low. Comfortable out there right now, but a cool evening in store, that's for sure again. Temperatures for the most part around 60 degrees, as warm as 66 in Eagle Pass, 62 Leon Springs, Santa Maria at 63 degrees. And as we go through the evening hours, we'll see those temperatures gradually falling off here. Clear sky, not much of a breeze out there, just at about 2 to 8 miles per hour. I think we'll be about mid 40s at 10 p.m. and tomorrow morning 30s. But generally 30s above freezing. A little bit of moisture headed our way. We'll talk about the rain chances and the rain potential, along with a few cold fronts coming right up.
Adam, thank you. A teenager from Georgia on a trip to the Cayman Islands in the Caribbean is learning just how seriously the country is taking their COVID-19 restrictions. After being accused of violating them, she's now facing several months behind bars. Here's ABC's Marcy Gonzalez.
This American teenager now in prison in the Cayman Islands after breaking that nation's strict COVID quarantine rules. According to officials, 18-year-old Skylar Mack traveled to Grand Cayman on November 27th and was required to quarantine for 14 days while wearing a wrist monitor given to all visitors to track their location. The next day, she reportedly called the public health department to have it loosened.
From then, she's able to take off the bracelet the following day and attend a jet ski event.
This is video of that event. Officials say the pre-med honors student from Georgia went there to watch her boyfriend, professional jet ski racer Vanjay Ramgeet, compete. The pair is accused of staying there and interacting with people for more than 7 hours.
They weren't wearing any masks. She wasn't wearing her bracelet, and they weren't observing social distancing. Several mandatory protocols that were part of our COVID-19 suppression measures.
Ramgeet, a Cayman Islands native, was also arrested and charged with aiding and abetting. The two pleaded guilty and were initially ordered to pay a fine as well as perform community service. But prosecutors appealed, calling the ruling too lenient. A judge then upped the sentence, ordering them to spend 4 months in prison. Mac's family says she's tested negative for COVID-19 several times since arriving on Grand Cayman and believes the island nation is making an unfair example out of her.
4 months for breaching isolation when you were negative. Why did she have to be the example?
Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News.
Again, that was Marcy Gonzalez reporting. Thanks to the Salvation Army and members in the community, more than 6,500 area kids will have a present under the tree. It's all part of their Angel Tree program. Donated toys and clothes were picked up by families today. The distribution moved to the parking lot for a drive-through to accommodate social distancing guidelines. Organizers are just glad to continue the tradition.
This year, I think the community was really hungry to do something because it's been such a challenging year for everyone. So we had a lot of great community support. People just wanted to do something positive to end the year on.
Angel Tree distribution will continue tomorrow at 8 a.m. and they still need volunteers. To help, just head to the San Antonio Event Center on Meadowleaf Drive near 410 and Marbach. Well, if you're still shopping for Christmas, you might want to listen up because there are several recalls you need to know about, the products affected, and the danger they bring.
This SA Salute holiday greeting is brought to you by Blue Ribbon Auto Collision Center.
My name is Olga Herrera. Quiero dar las gracias a todos los primeros que atienden a todos los enfermos de esta pandemia. Quiero dar las gracias a los médicos, a las enfermeras y a todos los militares. Gracias por su servicio. Quiero desearles una feliz Navidad y un próspero año nuevo lleno de amor y felicidad para todos. Gracias.
New at 5, a safety alert for parents. If you have a Graco play yard, there's a recall that could affect you. It's for an inclined sleeper, the type the government is working to ban. 12 on your sides. Marilyn Morris has that and more in today's recall roundup.
Parent alert! Graco is recalling more than 50,000 inclined sleepers because of a suffocation risk. The sleepers are accessories to 4 different pack-and-play play yards. No incidents are known, but similar products have been linked to 93 infant deaths. The play yard can still be used, but not the sleeper. Parents contact Graco. More than 20,000 camping stoves are recalled. This involves certain Camp Chef portable gas stoves sold at Walmart and sporting goods stores since last year. Potential gas leaks pose a fire danger. Contact the company for a fix. If you're planning yard work, do not use this. Fiskars Brands is recalling more than 500,000 16-foot pole saws and pruners. The telescoping pole can separate, causing the saw blade and pruner head to fall. Contact Fiskars for a refund. Black & Decker is recalling 82,000 Craftsman corded chainsaws. The problem? Under some circumstances, the chainsaw can start unexpectedly. These were sold at Lowe's and other hardware stores since last year. Contact Craftsman. And if your toddler has these light-up rain boots sold at Target, take them back. Washington Shoe Company is recalling some 77,000 pairs sold this year. The handles and the rivets can come off, creating a choking danger for little ones. As always, if you need more information, it's on our website. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
All right, turning now to our weather. Oh, hi, Adam.
Hello.
I thought it was going to come to us, but it's coming to you.
It always surprises us here at 5. It just boom, pops out to us.
Hi.
Hey, good. We're still, physically distanced here in the studio. And I was thinking the other day how it's going to be weird when we can finally be standing together around the anchor desk someday.
I forgot you used to stand over there.
Right? No, we're not used to it. I forgot as well. And I thought, wait, well, that day, it'll come. We'll be there. I'm looking forward to it. So here are weather headlines. It's going to get damp around here by tomorrow evening and tomorrow night, but then sunny the vast majority of the weekend. And it looks like we could have a more potent cold front hit us that'll pave the way for a noticeably cooler or colder, however you want to put it, Christmas Eve. All right, let's start with our dampness that we're expecting and some rain chances here. It all comes down to this, the moisture in our atmosphere. Right now we have very dry air. You may have some dry skin if you're sensitive to this dry air. Well, this is why you may have the dry skin or chapped lips, because dew points are down in the 20s. This is going to be changing, though. Here's our future cast with our dew points. The wind off the Gulf of Mexico tomorrow is going to raise these numbers, and you'll notice a hint of humidity in the air by this time tomorrow. But this is important because as our air saturates, we'll have low clouds developing during the morning tomorrow, and then some areas of drizzle and fog, all because of that influx of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. Here's our future cast. I like how it handles the situation. Clear tonight, but by tomorrow morning, those low clouds quickly start to fill in our sky. So early risers, a little bit of sunshine. Otherwise, we're looking at a fairly gray Friday. And then notice into the evening, 7 p.m., a few little sprinkles here and there, maybe even a few light showers by Friday night on into early Saturday. But what's it going to add up to? That's the big question, especially as a cold front moves in Saturday morning. We may squeeze a little extra moisture out of those clouds, particularly east of I-35. So in terms of actual rainfall potential, it's still looking pretty slim, but we could see up to 1/4 inch in some parts of our viewing area, especially north up I-35, New Braunfels area, Canyon Lake as well. You could see 1/4 inch over to Gonzales, down to Victoria. The rest of us, the farther you go west and south of San Antonio, the lower your rainfall amounts will be. So we're not looking at a drought denter here, but we'll take what we can get. A few tenths of an inch here and there is better than nothing. Quiet across Texas right now. We've got this bump in the upper level flow, but look at that action over the Rockies. You got that nice dip in the upper level flow. That's going to swing a weak cold front through town as we get into early Saturday. It's not going to change temperatures all that much. It's basically just going to keep it comfortable for the afternoons out there. 60 outside right now. 63 Helotes, 55 Bernie, New Braunfels at 62, Castroville at 63. For the most part, we're right around the 60-degree mark at this hour. Tomorrow morning, I'm not expecting a freeze. We'll come close in the hill country, and some little pockets and neighborhoods of the hill country may briefly hit freezing, but I'm thinking for the most part mid to upper 30s on your Friday morning. And look at this, the trend right now actually keeps us above freezing in terms of those morning lows. So it'll be another chilly start to the day tomorrow with low clouds quickly developing, 38 in the morning, and then making it into the mid 60s by the afternoon. By I'd say about sunset and especially thereafter, that's when we'll start to have some areas of drizzle and overall dampness, but no real decent showers tomorrow evening. It's tomorrow night on into early Saturday, we could have some of those spotty showers. And you look at temperatures, and for the most part, near 70 this weekend with a good amount of sunshine, near 70 to start next week, and then a stronger cold front could hit on Wednesday, and that could really drop our temperatures for Christmas Eve, even down into the 50s for high temperatures then with a bit of a breeze.
All right, thank you, Adam.
All right, Greg, so the Spurs have one more chance to show out against the Rockets.
Yeah, and this is a great test for their rookie. And by the way, Devin Vassell has been wowing us here in this first couple of games of the preseason. A good test against one of the best backcourts you'll ever see in the NBA, and James Harden and John Wall. When we come back, we'll get you ready for tonight's final preseason game. And Randy Gregory's message is, I never gave up. He'll explain coming up. San Antonio Spurs will close out their COVID-shortened preseason tonight when they face the Rockets in Houston for the second and final time. It's after they lost to the Rockets 112-98 on Tuesday. In that game, James Harden made his 2020 debut with John Wall after Wall was traded to the Rockets for Russell Westbrook during that offseason deal. It's the first time rookie Devin Vassell had faced one of the best backcourts in all of basketball, and the reviews are great. 4 steals and 32 minutes of action to go along with his 11 points. Vassell was asked after their game if he looked forward to another matchup against Harden and Wall tonight.
I mean, of course, playing against somebody like that, helps your game, helps you do better, especially on the defensive end. It's a challenge every single time, you step out there and you guard them. But, this is a job now, and day in and day out, there's great players, so you just got to know how to guard them.
All right, Spurs looking for their first win in the preseason tonight, 7 p.m. Highlights for you tonight on the Night Beat.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
There is no question the Dallas Cowboys defense is coming out their best performance of the season in their 30-7 rout of the Cincinnati Bengals. It gave us a chance to visit with Randy Gregory, who's continuing his comeback to pro football after a series of mistakes and suspensions cost him most of his NFL career since he was drafted in 2015. After facing the challenges of sobriety and dealing with mental health issues, Gregory continues to make strides since his best game of the season on Thanksgiving Day against Washington, where he picked up 2 sacks. Gregory was asked what he is most proud of.
The fact that I never gave up. I've had times where I've doubted myself. I've had times where I've wondered what life would be like without football. But biggest thing for me, the biggest thing I'm most proud of is that I never gave up. And at the end of the day, I believe that this is the place I need to be. Around the people that are here, and just the fact that I continue to fight and continue to want to come back and play is really important to me.
Former Dallas Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett tested positive for COVID-19, will not be able to participate in the Giants game against the Browns that had been flexed to Sunday Night Football over the Cowboys. Instead, tight ends coach Freddie Kitchens will take the place of Garrett as the Giants offensive coordinator. As a result, positive test, the Giants shut down their facility today. And also as a result of COVID-19, New Braunfels Canyon advances to the 3rd round of the playoffs because their game against Katy, scheduled for this week, called off due to COVID.
All right. Thank you, Greg.
You got it.
We'll be right back.
We're looking at 30s above freezing tomorrow morning, and then by tomorrow evening, dampness, some drizzle, a few sprinkles, and then some spotty light showers Friday night into very early Saturday. Otherwise, the weekend's actually looking pretty sunny with highs near 70. We could see a strong cold front right before Christmas Eve.
Thank you, Adam, and thanks so much for watching the News at 5.
World News is next. We'll see you back here at 6.